This one is going to be a little bit of a recap, and I didn't really talk about the church itself, and we're going to kind of get into that before we get into the celebrities too, because it was more so just Anton LaVey more than anything. The last episode, so
yeah,
that wild shit, Sarah. So
yeah. See, this just tells me we could start our own thing.
100%. 100%. We just have to learn from the lessons of history of what not to do. Welcome back to The Paranoid Perspective. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah.
So if you listened to last week's episode, we talked about the infamous Anton Salazar LaVey. And I'm going to give you a quick little recap. If you haven't checked that episode out, I would highly recommend you do that. But we mostly talked about Anton himself. We didn't really go deep into the church or the people associated with it. This is that episode. So for people that may not know or that aren't going to go back to said episode, I'll give you a little...
They should go back.
You should, but I'll give you a little recap since you're already here. But Anton LaVey was born in Chicago in 1930. He pretty much cultivated an image that was very performative, kind of blurred the lines between like fact and fiction. He always made outrageous claims about stuff. Even, him working from, a carny to a crime scene, photographer and all this other crazy stuff.
Crazy.
I could not imagine that job. I could not imagine that job. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some horrible things, but I could not imagine day after day just being all like, oh, what am I going to see today? Oh, a person was stabbed fucking 17 times. Oh, sweet. I'm going to go take pictures of it. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't see it ever getting any easier.
No. I don't even think it's something you get used to.
Right.
But during those times is where he really studied how he could like have people react to fear, spectacle, mystery, different types of authority. And whether it was he was playing around in carnivals, playing music for them, talking about the occult with friends, he recognized that presentation could be just as powerful as belief. And by the early 60s, he had gathered a small circle of people in San Francisco. And these weren't like secret initiates in like hooded robes or anything like that. They were artists, writers, police officers, professionals in lots of different fields, actors, actresses. Like, it wasn't weirdos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just looking for something different.
Yeah. And they started to meet on Friday evenings, and the gatherings became known as the quote-unquote magic circle.
Oh, I like that.
I know, right?
Magic circle.
Some came expecting to learn about like ceremonial magic. Others were simply, just there because Anton LaVey was becoming one of the city's most unusual personalities. He was a weirdo, and we wanted to kind of see what was going on.
Yeah, gotta check it out. The newest thing. Where was this? San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah, that's tracks for them, right?
100%. 100%. But what none of them realized really was that these informal meetings would soon evolve into one of the most controversial religious organizations ever created. And to be honest, at that point in time, like I kind of touched on this in the past episode, that, America was ready for something different or strange or weird or out there. And to really understand why the Church of Satan attracted so much attention, the mid-60s were a time of enormous cultural change. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting out of the 40s and 50s where we were, at war and then post-war, and people were still kind of living the traditional white picket fence American dream, so to speak. And traditional authority was being questioned almost everywhere in that decade of our country. Young people were starting to challenge their parents' values. Civil rights movements were transforming, American society. And of course, we had the Vietnam War, which was a fucking farce from the begin with, was dividing the country.
Yeah. That really kicked off a lot.
Yeah. And on top of that, psychedelic drugs were reshaping ideas about consciousness, just cultural ideas, stuff like that. Eastern religions were becoming much more fashionable through different musical artists and stuff like that. The Beatles were pretty prominent with that sort of idea. There was a lot of interest in witchcraft, astrology, seances, UFOs, ESP, all the woo paranormal stuff like that. This is the decade where this really like kind
the
of
new age.
It really was.
Picked it up. Yeah.
Even in universities, they started like having lectures on like mysticism and stuff like that. Like that was something that was not really part of it
That's cool,
up until that point. Yeah. And against all of this backdrop, Anton LaVey was kind of looking around and made a very provocative observation. If people were willing to devote themselves to every imaginable belief, why not create a religion that celebrates the individual instead of demanding self-denial? So, this all came to a head on April 30th, 1966. In European folklore, the night before May, the first day of May, or May Day, is known as Walpurgisnacht. I don't know how to fucking say that. It's fucking
good try.
Crazy. I don't know. I know. It's fucking crazy. But this had been long associated with stories of witches gathering on mountaintops. Historians note that tales behind this kind of blended medieval folklore, superstition, and later literal traditions rather than like documented events. So Anton LaVey intentionally chose that date for very symbolic reasons, standing before his followers in the black painted Victorian house that would simply be known as the Black House, which we showed pictures of in the last episode. He announced the founding of the Church of Satan. He also declared 1966 to be year one, the first year of the age of Satan.
Nice.
I know, right?
Wow. Missing 6, I guess.
That's true, but we're pretty close, What's one more? We can add that into the end of it. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
And it was a very theatrical moment. It was designed to challenge expectations and to generate attention. And it fucking worked. It worked so well. Overnight, newspapers across America wanted interviews. Photographers wanted pictures. Television producers wanted footage. Some journalists arrived expecting to expose the devil worship that was happening. You know what I mean?
Overnight? Dude, I cannot imagine this happening overnight.
Well, and I think when they say overnight, I don't think it was literally the next day. I think that was the springboard that really got the attention going. What they found, though, was a charismatic showman in black speaking about human nature and individualism rather than supernatural beings.
Yes.
So what did they actually teach? And we kind of talked about this a little bit. There's a lot of perception versus reality on this. Despite its name, like I said in the first episode, Church of Satan does not represent Satan as a literal deity to be worshipped.
Right.
It's a symbolic figure, representing pride, skepticism, personal freedom, indulgence, rebellion, that sort of thing. That's really what he was kind of teaching there. Many critics, though, rejected that explanation, believing that the symbolism itself was dangerous or misleading, because we can't have, Satan anywhere.
Right. Can't have individualism and rebellion.
Of course not. We got to conform, man.
Right.
Supporters of the church, they were using Satan as a provocative metaphor rather than promoting supernatural worship of a deity, like I said. And the distinction is essential because it shaped everything that followed. To LaVey, rituals were often described as forms as like psychodrama. Structured ceremonies intended to focus emotion, intention, and personal transformation, not as proof of a supernatural force that would be intervening in whatever they were trying to do. It was more for the individual. It was all about the individual and how they were going to make themselves better in their own way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Now, the headquarters, like I said, was the Black House. It stood on a street in San Francisco, painted completely black and filled with unusual decor, as you might think. Inside, there were antique furniture, animal statues, books on mythology, psychology, ceremonial tradition. The shelves were packed with curiosities collected over decades. Visitors described it was like entering into another world. I pretty much picture like like if you see those like attraction places out in the middle of nowhere where they have like the
Yeah.
fish boy and the jackalopes and stuff, like
Right.
that's what I'm picturing when you walk in
Yeah.
there.
I could see that, like a museum kind of too.
Yeah, like
Did he live there?
mhm,
Okay. So it's his
mhm.
personal house and he just decked it out like that
Yeah. Yeah.
and had meetings there.
Well, actual services and ceremonies and
Right.
like everything, you know what I mean?
Wow.
The whole point is this atmosphere was very, very carefully crafted by LaVey. And whether one viewed it as theater, religion, or art, LaVey understood the power of the setting for sure. Every room told a story before a single word was spoken. It wasn't simply a place to hold a meeting. It became literal stage for Anton LaVey. Like I said, he's very performative, and he was a master at these ceremonial ideas and practices that would really ignite something in an individual and obviously across the country.
Right. I want to see, like, was his bedroom like that? Like dark or was it just like a normal bedroom?
No, I think he went whole hog into all this.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it
That's
wasn't.
where he feels at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, yeah, is it the performance or is that really him?
No, it's really him. He leaned
Okay.
into this pretty fucking hard too.
Wow. Yeah.
And part of it was for the shock and the culture setting for sure. But no, I do sincerely believe that the things that he was preaching, I think he sincerely believed and definitely was living through. Now, as the church grew, so did the public fascination. Reporters wanted, shocking headlines, of course. And a lot of the neighbors were really wondering what was happening there, especially after dark. Hollywood personalities began appearing at gatherings. The Black House became a fucking magnet. You know what I mean?
Mm.
A lot of stories come out of there, and unfortunately, most of these were like overblown or greatly exaggerated just because of the nature of what they were allegedly promoting there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I would be interested to be like a neighbor. Like, yeah, what would you be feeling like?
I think if you were a neighbor in the mid 60s, you were probably a little bit older and you were probably scared out of your fucking mind.
Right.
If we're being honest.
Like, let's sell this house for nothing to get out of here.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, if you did walk through the front door and you had those ideas, you wouldn't see like dark robes and chanting and people worshiping a horned devil. I mean, that's certainly what the newspapers wanted Americans to believe, but virtually it was something much stranger. Not because of like supernatural events, but it was like all super organized. Like it was set up like a church. It wasn't just some weird like secret society, sort of thing. In many ways, Anton LaVey wanted the exact opposite of like a secret society aspect. It wasn't built on underground movements or anything like that. He wanted people to know it existed. He welcomed television crews. He posted for magazine covers. He gave interviews from the Black House. Like this is not like he wasn't trying to keep it like under wraps by any means.
Oh yeah, right. That's against his personality.
100%.
Everyone needs to know. Yeah.
100%. Now, the church was built like I said, a church or an organization of a religion. It had members, it had titles, it had people that were in administrative roles. It had definitely ceremonies that happening. Like the Satanic Bible, it published other writings. It also had certain sets of rules. And it had a philosophy that members were expected to understand before calling themselves Satanists. Like it wasn't just a a weird place to go. Like, this was a no shit place of quote unquote worship. Maybe not in the way that you would think, but it
Right.
was.
Yeah, he wanted it to be taken seriously.
Yes, this was not something that he just thought was like, yes, he was a performer and yes, he was a showman for like the shock appeal for sure, but he definitely believed all of that that he was preaching. There, shockingly, were no weekly Sunday services at the church where hundreds came to worship. Most members did live just ordinary lives. Many never attended a ritual that happened at the church. Some never even met Anton in person.
Huh.
Membership was also more of a, philosophical thing than a communal thing. You know what I mean? Because once again, this is all based on individualism. It's not based on Satan. It's based on you as the person. Which was a real big surprise for a lot of outsiders. Outsiders thought, dude, you're going to walk in there and you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see the black robes and you're going to have hundreds of people worshiping, a Lucifer deity. And when they go in on Sunday, you know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah, you have to do like a blood ritual or something.
Yeah.
Cut your palm.
Yeah. Newspapers did speak of the quote-unquote church. People imagined a cathedral full of whispers. In reality, it was much smaller and far more decentralized as far as services go. So, now at the very top, obviously, Anton LaVey. He took the title as the high priest of the Church of Satan. Other people have called him the Black Pope, but his official title was the high priest of the Church of Satan, according to him. This is according to him. This is not according to
Seems weird.
He's the leader of it. He can call himself whatever he wants. You know what I mean?
It's just interesting he used priest.
Yeah, I think that part was mostly for a little bit of tongue in cheek to go against the church of, Christianity.
Right. Yeah.
So he was also the chief spokesman, author, and the public face. To followers, he was the archetype of the religion, which is pretty fair. To critics, he was just an expert showman. And to the media, this motherfucker was irresistible. Could not get enough of it. I showed pictures of him. He's got the shaved head, he's got the black clothing, he's got a piercing stare, a very cultivated image. And LaVey looked exactly like the man people imagine would found something called the Church of Satan. One aspect of the church that surprised many observers was the prominent role given to women. LaVey believed that women possess unique social and psychological influence. He often placed women in very highly visible ceremonial positions. The office of the high priestess became one of the most important leadership roles within the church. During different periods, several women filled prominent positions, helping organize ceremonies, oversee administrative work, and represent the church publicly. Photographs from the early era show elaborate stage rituals where high priestess stood beside LaVey, reinforcing the theatrical style that became synonymous with the church.
And that's really good that he had women like at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? Who else is doing that then? No one.
Yeah.
That's
well, that's one of the things. Like I heard somebody say that like that's just one more thing. He was like going against the grain. And I'm like, I don't feel like he was like intentionally doing that. Like, I think he actually like truly believed that, and it's kind of funny that people kind of get mad about it. It's like, well, he just put women there because it's different than what the church does. It's like, no, I mean,
even if it was just that, it's still good that he's doing it. Like,
I don't know.
Well, he's only doing it because it's the opposite. Well, maybe we should do more of that. I don't know.
Well, and beneath the high priest and the high priestess, there was a governing body known as the Council of Nine.
Oh, I know, I like right? That. Wait, what's the high priestess? He got married, right? That she wasn't involved?
It's
Was
not.
she?
Yes and no. That role kind of changed
Okay.
people very periodically.
Yeah.
Not like super often, but yeah, it wasn't anything like that. I don't believe. Um, Now, like you said, the Council of Nine, it does sound like something off of a conspiracy novel. Like it
Yeah.
literally sounds like something I'd read on Reddit and be like, oh
Right.
yeah, you
The
know what I mean?
Council of Nine. Yeah.
And of course, with that, even in the mid to late 60s, the rumors started exploding. You know what I mean? Some claim the council secretly controlled Hollywood. Others,
The Illuminati, pre-Illuminati.
or
That'd be crazy.
just an extension of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but others insisted wealthy businessmen, politicians, or intelligence officers occupied its seats.
Okay.
Now, that being said, there is zero credible evidence that supports any of these claims.
Yeah. Do we know anyone that was
Yeah,
part of that?
we're going to talk about him a little bit later, but
Okay.
Ankino, the guy we talked about in the last
yeah.
episode, he was pretty high up in this church and on this sort of council, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Okay.
But according to the church, Council of Nine functioned as advisory and administrative body, helping oversee organizational matters and membership decisions. Like that's really what it was. It was for administrative purposes and making sure everything ran smoothly. The mystery or the mysterious name certainly fueled the speculation, which was 100% by design. You know,
yeah, it's really just like a HOA board or something.
That's seriously what it was.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
It's nothing more than that. It's literally nothing more.
That's funny.
Much of the speculation came obviously from the outside of the church, and there's no, like I said, documented anything about any craziness happening. But the Council of Nine did give journalists dramatic headlines, which is once again completely intentional, and I think that's why Anton LaVey kind of pushed that a little bit to get more people talking about it.
Right, yeah.
Now, unlike most religions, the advancement within the Church of Satan was not based on holiness or spiritual enlightenment. Instead, members could receive recognition based on their understanding of philosophy, their contributions to the organization, of course. You know, you buy your way in, you get a little bit better. And according,
nothing that doesn't change.
No, that never changes. That never changes, regardless of whatever you're in. If you pay more, you get more. Right? Yep. I got it. But according to church writings, their accomplishments in the real world were really what mattered. Their success, their influence, their achievements. Like that's really what. Like once they were a part of that, and they started showing like a lot of interest in the church and using these ceremonies to self-improve themselves, that's when their standing would start to kind of elevate throughout.
Yeah, that makes sense.
LaVey argued that competence and personal intelligence were more meaningful than anything. This emphasis on individual achievement set the Church of Satan apart from many traditional religious organizations. Critics saw it as like an elitist mindset. Supporters were just like, well, we're just being as brutally honest with ourselves as we possibly can. You know what I mean? So,
right, yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about this. These are the grottos, okay? So as interest in the church spread beyond California, local groups began forming in other cities. These chapters were known as grottos.
Grottos. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd name. Like I want a cool one like the Council of Nine or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. Well,
yeah, I get to be a grotto.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me be a bayou.
Right. But the word invokes hidden caves in ancient, mysterious, mythologies and stuff like that. And the symbolism was very intentional. Each grotto served as a local gathering place where members could discuss philosophy, perform approved rituals, So this is where we're starting to get to the point where we're not just doing willy-nilly stuff anymore. Like, it's got to be approved through the church.
I don't like that.
I know, right? And socialize with others who shared similar ideas. Some grottos met very regularly, while others were very, very short-lived. Their activity varied widely depending on local leadership. Importantly, they were expected to operate within the broader philosophy established by the church rather than invent an entire new doctrine. So there was like kind of a line in the sand with these guys as far as like, hey, we want you to kind of spread the thing as far as the message goes, but you got to stay kind of on script.
Right. I mean, it makes sense if it's like an organization. So that's how it is.
Yeah. One of the most famous symbols of belonging wasn't like a handshake or a robe. It was a wallet-sized membership card.
What?
Yeah.
Like just a little piece of paper?
It was a business card. That's all it was. It represented commitment to the church's philosophy.
Right.
To a lot of critics, though, it became evidence that Satan had entered a mainstream America, Sarah.
Yeah, because you just hand out your business card to anyone.
I mean, that's true.
Right.
But the existence of an official membership card made the church seem unusually like, now this is like a real tangible thing. Now that we have, it's not just merely an idea or a bunch of weirdos in San Francisco. Like, people started really freaking out about this because it's like, oh, fuck.
I want merch. I don't want a business card. I want a t-shirt or something.
I believe there is a lot of merch available still.
But I mean, like, as a member, I would be kind of like, you're just giving me a business card.
Yeah, I want everything from koozies to t-shirts to hats to tumblers to shot glasses.
Buttons.
Yeah.
Enamel pins, the really fancy ones.
Very true.
Right.
Now, as the church started to expand, the stories started multiplying even faster. Some newspapers claimed that the Black House held midnight sacrifices. Others suggested that there were secret tunnels underneath the house.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
secret tunnels.
There were rumors. They are everywhere, Sarah. I mean, we're in America. There's secret tunnels everywhere.
Right.
But rumors of hidden vaults, wealthy donors pulling strings behind the scenes, celebrities slipping through the back entrances after dark, all of these tales fueled the sensational reporting, the neighborhood gossip, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's going to be gossip. You can't live like that without having some stories, mythologies.
For sure. Now, as far as the ceremonies themselves, there were ceremonial swords they used, altars, robes, incense, ancient symbols, Latin phrases, music. To an outsider, it would seem like something straight from Gothic fiction, I guess would be the best way to kind of say it. But according to the church's own writings, these were, once again, not acts of devil worship. They were intended to be symbolic ceremonies and formed, psychodrama designed to channel emotion. We've already kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
But for nearly a decade, the Black House became pretty much inseparable from Anton LaVey. To believers, it was the headquarters of the new religious movement. To skeptics, it was an elaborate stage set or even the birthplace of where devil worshiping would begin in America.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But once again, throughout that, decade, it was very sensationalized by all of these reporters, all of these different news things. And Anton was not doing anything to kind of hide it. He was going on interviews and talking about everything.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, visitors would later describe not only like we talked about earlier, but there would be taxidermy or card figures that would be overflowing on bookshelves and stuff like that. And different skulls of animals and things like that would be present everywhere. And we'll get into the skulls of animals. And Sarah, if you're ever at a place like that, don't touch anything.
Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with Tier 1?
So Tier 1 is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want. Ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast.
Okay. Why? Diseases? Like what?
Oh, no. Possible curses, but you know.
Oh, curses. Okay. Sure. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, they did have, like I've kind of talked about in the last episode, they did have weddings there, they did have funerals there, and they did have baptisms there.
Yeah.
The weddings and funerals I get.
Yeah.
The baptism, though, kind of freaks me out a little bit, but I don't know why. Maybe because I'm Catholic or raised Catholic.
Right. Well, yeah, they did. Well, because it was babies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like that for any of them. I feel like you should be, decide for yourself to get baptized, I guess.
Yeah. Now, by the early 70s, the Black House had become a symbol onto which people projected their fears about the occult. A lot of people were really freaking out about this. And by it's really weird too, because like this is when like celebrities really started being prominent, and not just like no-name people. Like we're talking guys like Sammy Davis Jr. We're talking ladies like James Manfield, like people that were very, very in the public eye that were going to this church, and that freaked people out even more.
Yeah, because it's now more mainstream.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Sammy Davis Jr. first.
Nice.
So Samuel George Davis Jr. was born in New York in 1925, so only 5 years before Anton LaVey. And he was born into a family of entertainers. By the time most children were learning to read, Sammy was already performing. He was singing, dancing, and acting. And the stage really became his classroom. His father later formed the Will Masson Trio, and Sammy became the youngest member of the act. Audiences were amazed by his talent, but America in the 30s and 40s probably wasn't the best place for African Americans, to say the very least.
Yeah.
The applause literally would stop at the theater door. Hotel rooms would often refuse them rooms. Restaurants would not even serve them. So it was really kind of not a great time. Like he was having a really good time on stage, but off stage, obviously, was not great for it.
Right.
Now, by the 50s and 60s, Sammy had become one of the biggest entertainers in the world. He could headline in Vegas, star in films, sell records, appear on national television. Yet that fame still did not change him from any sort of prejudice during that time as well. If for people that don't know, Sammy Davis Jr. was one of the members of the Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra as well during that time.
Yeah.
So, now he started to kind of have this like existential crisis in the 50s that really started to like extended just beyond his career. Like he was like trying to find like meaning, I guess would be the best way to say it. Davis actually converted to Judaism after a serious car accident and a long period of reflection. He spoke publicly about finding meaning in that faith and reminded and remained connected to it throughout his life. And then in the late 60s, early 70s, Anton, being a media sensation, they had a little bit of a chance meeting, so to speak. Now, a lot of this is highly speculative. So I don't want to say anything I'm about to say is not entirely like accurate, but a lot of like third-hand information about Sammy Davis Jr. and Anton LaVey. Okay. Now, how much of this is actually true? I don't want to tarnish anybody's name or say anything crazy like that. But they were reportedly really, really, really good friends.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So, one of the most persistent stories surrounding Sammy Davis Jr. is that he became a member of the Church of Satan. There is evidence that Davis associated with LaVey and expressed interest in his ideas for the time. That being said, though, it was reported that a lot of Davis's girlfriends said that he was obsessed with this new idea of the Church of Satan and routinely practiced in ritualistic sexual magic with them. One of them even said she almost didn't want to be intimate with them because it became like a chore. Because now it's this whole ritual thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. Now, from third-hand information that I have, he really dove deep into this, like really dove deep, to the point where even Frank Sinatra was telling him, like, you've got to get away from this Anton LaVey guy. Yeah.
Right. It was taking over his life.
It was literally taking over his life, allegedly.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
And really what I think when I think about Sammy Davis Jr. is that he was more on like a spiritual exploration sort of thing. Like he was trying to expand his knowledge of things and trying to find his way, I guess would be the best way to say it. But I sincerely believe, especially with the kind of childhood he grew up with and the career that he had, even being in the Rat Pack, like, yes, you are part of one of the biggest acts and bands in that time period, but you were still African American in the 40s and 50s.
Right. Yeah. There's only so far you can get.
Yeah.
Because of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
now, even though you're associated with Frank Sinatra,
right,
it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
And finding that meaning through someone maybe like Anton LaVey probably was very therapeutic for him in a lot of different ways.
Well, it's probably empowering if it's focusing on individuals and stuff. So,
yeah. And like I said, there's a lot of like third hand, you know, things that talk about what Sammy Davis Jr. and a lot of it is revolving around that ritualistic sexual magic that he really liked. Now, none of that is like more than third party. Like there's not any like evidence, so to speak. There was a few things that he did openly talk about it a few times, but you know what I mean? It's hard to kind of pin down some of this.
In passing or something, yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of a lady named Jane Mansfield?
No. Who is she?
She was one of Hollywood's biggest stars during the 50s. She was the platinum blonde hair bombshell, pretty much, is the best way to...
The, like, typical... They always need at least one. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But she was very quick-witted, very intelligent, and had a very carefully crafted public image. She was often compared with Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
Reportedly fluent in multiple languages and classically trained in music. She understood how to like kind of use publicity. She knew that controversial ideas and talking sold tickets. Like she was a very good businesswoman when it came to selling herself, I guess would be the best way to say it. And in that way, she and Anton LaVey had something in common quite well. They recognized that newspapers were drawn to spectacle. And by the mid-60s, Mansfield's career had begun to kind of cool off. She was still famous, but Hollywood was starting to change. She increasingly relied on public appearances to stay in the spotlight. Around this time, she crossed paths with Anton LaVey. So there are photographs of Mansfield visiting the Black House, and those obviously quickly made headlines. Newspapers described her as fascinated by the mysterious founder of the Church of Satan. Some reports even referred to her as the church's high priestess, but none of that was ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it very well could have been, but I don't think so. The thing about it, though, and what the kind of nail in the coffin for that is, no one of the Church of Satan administrative staff had ever made that claim that she was anywhere associated with that. While Anton and Mansfield were clearly acquainted and appeared publicly together, there was no evidence that she ever held any sort of higher ranking than just a member. But even though
I feel like they would publicize that if she was
100%
of her,
100%.
So, yeah.
The friendship generated exactly what kind of publicity both figures were accustomed to. That's what I think the main reason why they started hanging out was. They both realized it would be mutually beneficial.
Oh, yeah.
For both of them.
Right. Since she was kind of becoming less popular anyway, right? So
yeah. Okay. Now, there is this idea and a story associated with Jane Mansfield and Anton LaVey. According to legend, Anton had warned her boyfriend and her after an argument and picking up one of the skulls that he had on a bookshelf. Supposedly telling him that something horrible was going to happen if they did not kind of try to reconcile with whatever argument they were having, and obviously touching that piece of occult artifact or whatever.
So it's like picking it up and putting it down?
Yeah.
Okay. But because they were also arguing?
Yes.
Not just touching it?
Yes.
Okay.
In the early hours of June 29th, 1967, Jane Mansfield, Sam Brody, her boyfriend, and several of her children were traveling through Louisiana after a nightclub appearance. The car was struck the rear of a tractor trailer. Mansfield, Brody, and the other person up front were instantly killed. The children riding in the back seat survived with no injuries.
Yeah, that's crazy. No injuries at all?
No injuries at all. And if you would like, I actually have a picture of the actual car crash, and it is fucking bad. Like,
wow. How fast were they going?
Sarah, you be the judge of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, on cars back then too, like not the safest. Wow. That's insane.
Like I said, they rear-ended a tractor trailer, and you know what the funny thing about it is? You know those metal bars that you see on the back of tractor trailers now that are like their bumpers? Those are commonly, now they do, and they're commonly referred to as Mansfield bars.
Oh, because of that accident. See, I've heard of that, but I didn't realize it was like from her. Because, they didn't have it before then. And it just beheads you, doesn't it?
Well, so that was the rumor, right? That she was absolutely decapitated. Now, that being said, from reports that I saw, she definitely was killed by a blow to the head and neck. I don't think she was completely decapitated, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why the kids survived, because they're shorter.
Well, you want to know a fun fact about one of her kids that was in the backseat of that car that night?
What, they're taller than her?
No, it's Mariska Hargitay from Law & Order SVU. That's one of her children that was in the backseat of that car.
I have heard of that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
To witness that. I mean, how old were they? That's like insane.
Yeah, I mean, they were probably, what was that, 67? So, they were probably single digits. Maybe I mean, old enough to be aware of what happened, I'm sure.
Right. And remember and
yeah.
be traumatized forever about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really crazy. So people think it's because she touched that thing.
That's the rumor. I don't think that story ever happened. I think what happened is she got in a car accident. People realized she was associated with Anton LaVey, and they cooked up some fucking crazy story, and that's what it was. I don't think it had anything to do with any curses or anything like that. But what I do like is that whether you believe in the curse or not of it, the Mansfield story demonstrates how quickly myth can attach itself to real fucking events.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. Well, things happen every single day, so people just try to make sense of it. So
yeah.
However they can, yeah.
Yeah. Now, by the late 60s, the Church of Satan had become, like I've said, a media phenomenon. And there were countless celebrities. Countless. Like, this place was like the hub.
Wow.
There was a major musician who associated with Anton LaVey or LaVeyan Satanism. And it was the heavy metal vocalist King Diamond. I cannot remember for the life of me who that is a part of. Let me see. Great podcasting here. I guess I should have done research.
Danish. He's still alive. He's 70.
Yeah. King Diamond is one of the guys that like really leaned into this as well. And perhaps this is probably a little bit more for us, Sarah. Perhaps no celebrity became more publicly associated with the Church of Satan this was in the 90s than musician Marilyn Manson.
Really? Well, I feel like that does track, yeah.
Yeah. During that period, Anton LaVey reportedly granted Manson with an honorary priesthood within the church.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, it's so he stays relevant.
100%.
It's like in the 90s.
That is what it is. That is all it is. If we're being honest about anything, that is literally all it is. The announcement generated enormous media attention, and because like that too, like especially when like Columbine happened, like people were convinced that Marilyn Manson and other heavy metal shock rock bands were responsible for those two individuals committing that murder and that mass shooting. And it was just an easy out, I feel like, for a lot of the media. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Kenneth Anger, he was a art film and really into the occult. He was another big person that was along with Anton LaVey throughout these years. And the biggest thing with all of that was just, I think one of the reasons he got with him was so he could kind of project that imagery in art and film more.
Right.
Like that's the biggest thing. Like what I'm trying to say is like all of these people that like surrounded themselves, like, and he associated with, it was a mutually beneficial relationship.
Right. Yeah. It's just a business decision.
It's all it is.
Yeah. Right.
That's all it is. Yeah. And this idea that there's like this like crazy satanic crazy person out there that's just doing things for chaos sake. Like none of this is chaotic. Like all of these decisions are tactical, well thought out, and performative. That's what that's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, by the late 70s and 80s, though, Anton had become more than a religious founder. He literally was a pop culture icon. Imagery from movies, a lot of heavy metal bands. Like we've already talked about most of this, but I mean, like that, I can't stress enough, like how much it really impacted the culture of that day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it still is. It's still part of the culture. Yeah.
Now here's where something crazy happened, and this is the McMartin preschool case. This is one of the most famous criminal investigations in American history. So in 1983, accusations of child abuse emerged at the McMartin preschool in Manhattan Beach, California. They were saying that these people were card-carrying members of the Church of Satan, which some of them very well might have been, and they were doing ritualistic child, like, satanic rituals with these fucking kids.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. As the investigation expanded, allegations became increasingly extraordinary. Children described underground tunnels, secret rooms, animal sacrifices, flights in hot air balloons, ceremonies involving hundreds of people. Police conducted one of the largest child abuse investigations ever undertaken in the United States. The case lasted for years. Millions of dollars were spent and lives were permanently changed. After that extensive investigation, though, in multiple trials, guess what they found?
Nothing.
Not a fucking thing. They literally primed these kids. This is height of satanic panic. They primed these kids. And like, look, if you're sitting in if you got like, I don't know, a fucking 4-year-old in there and you're like, hey, tell me about these secret things, they're going to just start going off and saying all sorts of fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
And then as you start to like probe, it's like, you can't say like, oh yeah, tell me about, did they have underground tunnels too? And oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know,
right. The hot air balloon's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, they'll just say, because they want your attention, they'll just say whatever still. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
wow.
Thank God prosecutors ultimately ended without any convictions because nobody did anything in this instance whatsoever.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and that wasn't the only thing. There was a panic in courtrooms with heavy metal bands that found themselves being accused, like I said earlier, with like Marilyn Manson, of corrupting young listeners. Albums, oh, you play this backwards and you play Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, it says I love Satan. You know what I mean? Like, people were going fucking insane, and it was the catalyst was all Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan. Parents would routinely search record collections for occult symbolism. You know what I mean? And then like bands like Rush and Motley Crue and stuff like that had like pentagrams on their things. Like, it was like, oh shit, it's satanic,
Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
Well,
I'm glad we're like a little bit after that.
We are, and I can speak pretty good for the music piece. I think. I think it's still pretty present, especially in like very fundamentalist.
Oh yeah,
Christian.
Right. That's
things.
Yeah. Like Southern.
Yes.
Culture. Yeah.
Yeah. I've met people where I'm at that even say that you should not have drums during worship music because it summons demons. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God. What? No drums at all. No beat. Don't have any. Don't stay on beat.
We need a lot of white people going.
Yeah, just.
That's all we need.
Right.
God forbid we have
we get 2 on beat and it's gonna summon the devil.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Dude,
today, people are thinking that today.
I have met them.
My God.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and the more south you go, right? It's probably even more.
Well, for listeners that might not know, I'm quite in the Bible Belt, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right in the thick of it.
Wow.
But yeah, it's wild, and it's so funny to me that this is all rooted back to the satanic panic in the 80s that was 100% caused by Anton LaVey.
Right. And that was like 50 years ago almost at this point. 40, 50. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's bad too, because like there's so much surrounding Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan. And the stories about these secret documents and hidden knowledge and these like confrontations that happened that never really happened. Like I said in the last episode, you know what I mean? Like, Anton was an entertainer. He understood the value of, I guess the best way to say it was like the shock performance. Like, he understood what that meant. And he built a religion that many people still practice relatively openly today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Right.
LaVeyan, Satanism is something that I've heard multiple people on multiple different platforms talk about. And like, once again, I cannot stress this enough. I am not advocating for any type of religion. Like, I don't really give a fuck what you believe in, you know? But when it comes to the LaVey style of Satanism, it's all about like self improvement for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nothing more than that. And if you read the Satanic Bible that was put out by Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan, like that's majority of what it is. It's not anything crazy. It's not telling you to go round up your local stray cats and crucify them or fucking whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
right. Well, yeah, people just take it extreme, but at the base of it, yeah, it's just to improve yourself.
Yeah. Now,
and we should all be trying to improve ourselves.
That's true, but that's also,
I mean, not necessarily like that, like following that, but just to get better. We should all be trying to get better.
But to go off of like a Christian standpoint, that would be exactly what the devil wants to convince you, is that he does not exist. And that's what the proponents of Christianity would tell you is, well, he might not be saying that he's promoting. It has nothing to do with the devil, but that's exactly what the devil would want you to do, is believe that he doesn't exist. So you can do whatever you want and then burn in hell for all eternity.
Yeah, but you should still be trying to get better.
In the Lord.
However you want to get better, but like objectively better.
Yeah.
You should be trying, I don't know, just mind your own business. A lot of stuff could be solved if you just take care of yourself, mind your own business, don't care about what they're doing. They can do it as long as it doesn't like harm you. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been my philosophy with a lot of things throughout the years, is like, dude, I don't give a fuck what you do. Right. I don't care.
Until you get me involved.
Yeah.
Like, I will not care. Like, don't get me involved.
There's a few things I'm not doing. I don't have to believe what you believe, just like you don't have to believe what I believe. I don't have to pay for what you believe in, just like you don't have to pay for what I believe in. And you can talk to me about it, and I don't have to agree with it. If I spit those 3 blocks, cool. I don't care what you fucking do. You know? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I have on Mr. LaVey and the celebrities associated with him, and a little bit of a deep dive into the church.
I gotta read his book. Do you think it's at the library?
Maybe up by you. I'd highly doubt it's down by me.
It's your library, yeah.
That might be a good thing. I might go do that tomorrow. Be like, oh, hey, public library, do you happen to have the Satanic Bible here?
Right. Can you request it?
Yeah.
They put you on a list.
Oh, dude, I'd probably have the fucking county clerk coming down with the sheriff or something like, oh, you kind of with us, boy. You know? Yeah,
probably. And then they'd hold you for like a day without telling you anything.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you're free to go now.
Yeah.
No, it's not at my library.
Well, looks like you got to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but we'll see.
How much is it?
I think the actual book was like $12.
Oh, there you go.
This probably could do ebook, right? Or
you don't want an ebook. You want the real deal, Sarah.
I think I'll just look up. Can't you just find the list of like the principles or whatever? I'll just look up. I guess, I don't know. Although it would look nice next to the Birds Aren't Real.
Sarah, I'm taking a page from Mr. LaVey, and I only want it for the shock value itself.
Right, yeah. It's only $8, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It depends how he wrote it, though. Oh, my God. Says the mass market paperback is $7.99, and then paperback. This must be like an original or something. It says $9.99.99. That has to be because like it doesn't actually exist or something, right?
I would hope so.
No one's buying it for $1,000.
I would hope so.
They should have made it $6.66. Hello.
I mean,
why'd they make
would
it
be the best
$9.99?
marketing. Well, they're trying to turn a profit. I get. Maybe they paid $6.66 for it.
Yeah. I don't think it can't be real. Just
Yeah.
get the other one for $7.99. I thought it'd be under Kindle too, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. Listeners, if you want to check out the Satanic Bible, we will have an Amazon affiliate link to the Satanic
for
Bible
$7.99.
for $7.99 right down below.
Cheaper than I thought. Yeah.
Well, that'll be our shill of the week, I guess, for Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of two-parter, I guess, for Mr. Anton LaVey. If you enjoyed it, or I guess if you didn't enjoy it, shoot us an email at the Paranoid Perspective Podcast at gmail.com. Tell us all about it. If you ever met Anton LaVey or a Satanist in the wild, I'd like to hear about it. That'd be a fun little thing. You should let us know.
Yeah.
Check us out on all social media platforms. Just search Paranoid Perspective. If you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. You can find us there, and I got some extra little perks over there. Easiest and free way, as always, is to share this podcast with a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good social media buzzwords. And as always,
just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.